So I'm sitting in the Capital One Lounge in Dallas Fort Worth recently, having a margarita, which was great, by the way. And I just was really thinking about this card, and man, it's still a game changer having the airport lounge access. And I'm not sure if you take advantage of the lounge network, but to me, that's like the game changer with the Venture X, especially with. And I think this is all the lounges in Dallas, but my God, the lines are 50 to 100 people long. The Centurion Lounge line at Dallas Fort Worth when I was there was over an hour wait. So, and I've seen that in Charlotte too. Which is just ridiculous. In Capital One with their lounge, the last 5 or 6 times I've been, there's been a little bit of a wait, like 10, 15 minutes, but nowhere near to the Centurion Lounge. Plus, when you get in, you're not elbow to elbow with people like you are in Centurion lounges or some of these others, Delta Sky Clubs, the Admirals Club lounges, which are, a lot of them are gross. And I fly American Airlines a lot, and I found a lot of value out of the city executive card from American Airlines, but that was for the Admirals Club access. And before I knew the Capital One Lounge existed. And now when I compare the two, like there's no comparison. Capital One is interesting. They've typically targeted subprime borrowers, which you can see from most of their cards, but then they have the Saver and Saver One and Venture X, which are more focused on the prime market. And the Venture X is listed as a luxury travel card that does compete with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, the American Express Platinum. But those two cards have more of like the coupon book style credits and benefits, some elevated earnings, whereas the Venture X is a 2X catch-all card unless you're using their portal. And there's a $300 coupon for traveling within their portal. I still haven't used mine. I'm kind of feeling like I have to be forced to use it, which I don't like. And then there's a 10,000 bonus miles that you can use for travel. That's the only way to really get value out of those. Otherwise, that's just $50 if you use that as a statement credit, which is complete hogwash. So I've recorded a couple other videos on American Express cards and how to get the most value out of them. With the Venture X, this is a little bit of a different video. There's 6 key categories where I get value out of here. The first one is a no-brainer, the welcome offer, public offer, 75,000 miles. That's what I got. Shout out to anybody that used my referral links for the 90,000 mile offer. Those were gobbled up pretty quickly. I don't think that offer is still available. Comment if you've seen that somewhere. Next is being able to take these miles and to get more value out of them, which is taking the 75,000 miles from the welcome offer, anything we're earning with the 2X to hit that minimum spend to get the welcome offer, and then being able to transfer those out to Capital One's transfer partners. The list is so-so. The hotels are, kind of meh. With Choice, you can get better value through Citi. The airlines, there's nothing domestic. There are some ways that you can transfer points out and use Avios or some others to book domestic travel, but that's not really how you're going to get the most value here. And with that, the valuation of these miles, it's all subjective. It's how you use them. You may get 1 cent per point. You may get 5 or 6. So that would completely change your outlook and value of these miles. So next would be the credits and benefits with this card, which are pretty simplistic. The $300 annual travel coupon that you can use to book within the Capital One portal. At least you can use that on hotels or flights, so you have a little bit more flexibility there. And then the 10,000 bonus miles that you really need to use for travel redemption to get any value out of. There's a couple of other features and benefits and perks. You can use this card worldwide. So that's nice, being that it's a Visa and there's no foreign transaction fees. And you get Hertz President's Club status. Shout out to Matt Clausen. He brought up the fact that it looks like they're clawing this back at the end of 2024. I used this once in 2023, which was nice. I ended up getting upgraded to, I think I had a Tesla, which was really nice. But shout out to Hertz for having all those EVs. So the airport lounge access from the Venture X, to me, is where I get the most value out of this card. Yeah, the credits and benefits are great, and people talk about neutralizing the annual fee, but I neutralize the annual fee and then some by visiting this lounge, the Capital One Lounge. I went 7 or 8 times in 2023. I place a $50 to $60 value on this because when I first get there, I have a draft coffee or two, and then I have food. The food is incredible. It's kind of like tapas style. It's still a buffet, but the way they have it set up, you don't feel like you're just getting herded through like cattle to pick out your rubbery meat like you do at a Centurion Lounge. God, I sound so pretentious. But then sitting at the bar, having a margarita or two. The drinks are great. And apparently they're custom at every location. So I'm curious to try some of the ones in Denver and Washington Dulles. and then the grab and go items. So with all that together, plus the fact that I can get some work done, I place at least a $50 to $60 value on this. The Plaza Premium, never been. And the Priority Pass lounges, I went to a few when I was in Portugal and Spain, and they were complete trash. The one that we went to in Lisbon's airport, we walked in and walked out. It wasn't a good vibe. I know that airport is crazy busy, but it wasn't a good vibe. We ended up going to the Tap Portugal lounge instead, which was also pretty mediocre. And then we went to a different one in Barcelona, and then one on the southern coast of Portugal, and I was just not feeling it. They're just the food options, the drink options, the vibe, the aesthetic. It's just, I'm spoiled with the Capital One Lounge and some of the Centurion lounges. So it is what it is there. The venturex is a dedicated catch-all card, which is weird. Like, do you want to pay $395 in an annual fee for a catch-all card? Absolutely not. And there's the Capital One Venture card that has a $95 annual fee and still earns the same 2 miles per dollar. If you're able to use the credits and you can neutralize the annual fee, then yeah, go for the venturex. If you're not going to travel much, I wouldn't even consider this card. It's a travel card. That's where it needs to get used, is for travel. And then to be able to take this 2x earning category and boost it with Capital One offers. So you can use the Capital One shopping portal, which is a pretty good one. I have the desktop extension built in. So when I'm shopping or I'm looking on my phone, I can see where the best offer is. It through Rakuten, where I'm using an AMEX card, or is it the Capital One shopping portal? There's a lot of 6, 7, 8x back plus a 2x that you get with the venturex. So if you're able to get 10x back on a category, it really makes it worth spending with this card, especially when you're looking to hit the minimum spend requirement to hit the welcome offer. And then throughout, whenever you're going to make a purchase, spend a few minutes. I had to train my wife on how to do this. I'm like, here's step 1, go to Rakuten. Step 2, go to Capital One shopping portal. Do it in this order, and we're going to get way more miles than we would have. And we have. We've probably gotten an additional 50 to 60,000 miles out of using these portals. Coming from a tech sales guy, some technology to help your technology, make sure you check out cashbackmonitor.com. They're not a sponsor here, but it does help aggregate all these different shopping portals. So if you're like me and you're using Rakuten, Capital One Shopping, e-shopping from American Airlines, all this will do is you can kind of set your preferences on which portals you use, and it'll show you which one earns the best. And then last is the referral bonuses. Man, shout out to anybody if you use one of my referral bonuses. I post those on YouTube. Yeah, I'm a tiny channel, 200 and something followers, but the 4 referrals that I could get with that card were gobbled up. So 100,000 miles, I maxed that out in just a matter of weeks. So it was less than a month. And those people were able to take advantage of the 90K mile offer, which is huge. Man, that's like, there's a ton of value there. That makes it worth this card in the first year. So does the 75K offer, by the way. But being able to take those miles to transfer those out for flights to Europe, I mean, that's essentially going to cover a round trip business class lay flat seat. It may be a little bit more than 90,000 points. I think some of the ones I've booked are in that 125 to 200,000 mile range. I know some of you are cringing at 200,000 miles, but really I'm going on my terms, my calendar, not when I can find the best deal. So that's all up to you. And if you do get any value out of this content, make sure you click those buttons down below. Let's get this in front of more people. Give me your thoughts and comments on the format of this video. I've typically gone with more editing, more graphics and things like that, but I wanted to kind of dial it back and just give my honest take on the venturex. We're the ones that are in control on if we want to keep these cards or not. So spend wisely, and until next time.